Hello and welcome to Prudent Gazali program. I am the host of this program, R.P. Pradhan. I am a professor at BITS Pilani Goa campus at the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences. Along with me joins Mr. Dilip Mehrotra, who is the MOU on port state control and a very prominent maritime sector player for long years. We have the distinction of having with us Mr. Arun Gupta, who is currently heading Indo-Iran Chabahar port at the southern region of Iran. Very interestingly, if I can clarify, last year in May 2016, India and Iran entered into the Chabahar port deal, and most of the Indian writers wrote about it as a very successful diplomatic victory for India and particularly for the Prime Minister Modi's team. Mr. Arun Gupta was part of the delegation of the Prime Minister and also signed the deal along with his counterpart in Iran. To know how significant the Indo-Iran Chabahar deal and to reflect on the naval diplomacy of India and the rising demands on the maritime sector of India, along with me joins Mr. Dilip Mehrotra, and both of us we will ask and interact with Mr. Arun Gupta to find out more details about the relevance of Chabahar port, the future of maritime design of India, maritime naval diplomacy of India, and the future times for the entire Sagarmala and beyond around that area. We will ask number of questions. Mr. Gupta, welcome to this program.
Thank you.
You have been associated with the shipping sector and the port sector for long years. You were heading Shipping Corporation of India, and now currently you are heading the prestigious assignment from the Government of India side, and you have taken the responsibility of developing the Chabahar port for India, the phase 1. Can you explain why India went to Chabahar first of all to sign the port? What is it there for India in this whole deal?
Thank you, Mr. Pradhan. I'll take your first question, what you said. Little correction. I have been associated with shipping for last 40 years. Port sector is a bit new to me. Anyway, Government of India has entrusted this responsibility for Chabahar port on me. I will try to execute, and in the process I am learning a lot. Now coming back to Chabahar port, India was always interested in Chabahar port. Our engagement with Iran on Chabahar port started way back in 2003, and somewhere in between we lost direction. Again things picked up in 2014, and finally in May 2015 an MOU was signed at ministerial level, and this MOU had broad parameters what the contract would be, the final contract, and that was in May 2015. And within 1 year we had series of discussions in Tehran, in Mumbai, discussions on the contract, and finally within 1 year in May 2016 the contract was ready, and in presence of Honorable Prime Minister the contract was signed. Now the second part of your question, why India was interested and who will benefit from it, I would say it's a win-win situation for all, for India, for Iran, and also for Afghanistan, which is a landlocked country. Afghanistan, I must say, has a special place, very close to India, friendly country, and culturally also, not only Afghanistan, Iran also we are very close, so we have special relations with them. So it was a dream which started in 2003 and finally translated into reality in 2016, and I hope by end of 2018 the first phase of Chabahar port would go into operations.
Okay, but very interestingly, if you look at the articles that were published around that time, Indian scholars particularly celebrated the fact that Prime Minister Modi snatched away Chabahar port from Chinese interest. And what we see the popular Chinese string of pearls, the writers wrote that out of the string of pearls, Chinese string of pearls, India took away the Chabahar port and plucked away the string, few pearls out of this, breaking the string. It's a astounding diplomatic victory for India.
I agree with you. After the NDA government came to power, they gave this initiative a push, which was lying in in wraps. And PM is driving this project himself. And my honorable minister is real-time updated on all the progress, what is going on Chabahar, because he is pulled up by the PM anytime. Now, did India manage to counter China? Well, let's not compare India with China. China is omnipresent. They have no problems with resources, etc. There the decision making is fast. But yet, yes, China was also interested in Chabahar. And between China and India, I think Iran would prefer India. We are a natural ally to Iran. Prior to partition in 1947, India shared borders with Pakistan. So, I think relations, friendly relations, cultural relations from all angles, Iran and India are close. So, Iran saw that it's better that they entrust Chabahar port to India than to China. Well, China is investing in other projects in Iran. Lot of projects they are investing. Absolutely.
Now, particularly I am referring to that China is developing Gadar port, which is only 72 kilometers from Chabahar. And if China would have got Chabahar port, then it would have been a strategic expansion for them in the Persian Gulf. And we in the process came in, snatched away the whole thing, where Pakistan and Iran both Islamic countries, but we got the deal from Iran, and China, in spite of its regional influence, lost it out. That's where I think it is a brilliant maritime move, maybe the Indian leadership, maybe the diplomatic process that has gone into on that, and if you can throw light on how did we manage this victory?
On this victory, I am just implementing the project, but yes, it was a diplomatic victory. And as I said in the beginning, we started engaging on Chabahar in 2003, and it was only in 2015 that the MOU was signed. So it took long 11 years for that engagement to come to some logical solution. Now, China is developing Gwadar port, I agree, and China has got two intentions of developing Gwadar port. One is, you must have seen One Road, One Belt, that thing initiative. They want their goods to go through Gwadar right up till China. They will save a lot of transportation time, distance. And another aspect is Afghanistan. In this entire thing, Afghanistan is plays a very pivotal role. Afghanistan is a landlocked country. For all its needs, it needs a seaport.
Sea opening.
So it is either Chabahar or Gwadar. I would say, had Chabahar also gone to China, India would have no role in supporting Afghanistan. And Afghanistan also wants that its goods must come through Chabahar rather than Gwadar. And let me go a step further. And in this initiative, I think India had some tacit approval of USA also. They also want that India should get engaged in Chabahar rather than China.
But how this Chabahar port is going to be beneficial to the India's maritime interest as such?
First, as I said, it will serve Afghanistan. But you see the proximity of Chabahar to Indian west coast. From port of Mundra or port of Kanda, it is hardly 550 nautical miles.
That's right. Yeah.
From GNPT, it is 700 plus nautical miles. So distance is nothing much. And see, Chabad port is very strategically located. It is outside Gulf of Hormuz. See, Gulf of Hormuz is always a choke point where anytime anything can happen. So it is absolutely in a very safe region. You must be aware that in 2000, India, Iran, Russia signed International North-South Corridor.
Yes. Yes.
So Chabad can be an eastern alternative to that North-South corridor. If you go vertically up, we will hit Turkmenistan to Sarak's border. So it will be a shorter route. So we will not only serve Afghanistan, but we will serve Turkmenistan and also the eastern CIS countries. So our exports, imports, lot of mineral wealth that side. Afghanistan itself has got lot of minerals.
Natural gas and
Yes,
minerals
yes.
and access to the Central Asian region. I think
Absolutely,
that is
absolutely.
But how much money is at stake? How much the cost of the project, and what is India's financial liability in the whole development process of the phase 1?
Yeah. So first of all, Indian government is going to give a credit line of USD 150 million to develop the port. That is one condition. It will be a soft loan given through Export Development Fund, and managers of Export Development Fund are Exim Bank. It will be a loan, it will be a finance so that they can develop the port. The infrastructure will be made by them, all the jetties, the dredging, etc. will be done by the Iranian side. India's mandate as per the agreement is to equip and operate the port. We'll be also equipping the port, we'll be buying cargo handling equipments worth 85 million US dollars, which as per the contract after 10 years will be theirs. So you can say 150 million US dollars plus 85 million. That is our investment in the project.
When you say operation, that means we will have Indians in the port working there for the operation part?
Not the blue collared, but the white collar definitely will be Indians. We propose to form a special purpose vehicle in Iran as per the Iranian law to run the port. We might have a partner also, a private partner. And white collars will be Indian, but blue collared will be locals.
Does India have the necessary technology to develop ports and the expertise in port development which we can translate in practice there?
Why not? India has got such good ports. There's technology is nothing great in developing ports. It is just planning, and Chabad, if you see, is a natural port. Chabad is a bay. It is quite protected. And let me clarify another thing. When everyone, general public talks about Chabad port, actually in Chabad port there are two ports, Shahid Baheshti and Shahid Kalantri. Kalantri is an old port where only one jetty is there and some small dhows ko accommodate karne ke liye there is some arrangement. But the main port, what is being planned in a structured manner, is Shahid Baheshti. This port is being planned in 5 phases. So India's involvement is only in phase 1 at present. After 10 years get over, we will again talk. Let us see where both sides stand.
So our mandate is to complete the phase 1 by?
Operate phase 1. In phase 1 also we will operate 2 terminals.
I see. Okay.
2 terminals, one container terminal of 640 meters length and another multi-purpose terminal of 600 meters length. The container terminal will have a depth of 16 meters and multi-purpose berth will have a depth of 14 meters. So if you say container terminal 640 meters, 2 post-Panamax vessels can come. Multi-purpose 600 meters, so there depending on the length of the vessel, either 2 vessels or 3 vessels can come. So totally what waterfront we have is 640 plus 600 meters, plus a backup area of about 70 hectares.
That's quite a large plan, I think. Is there any Japanese involvement in the whole process?
Not as present. Japanese initially showed interest, JICA was interested, especially in Chabad-Zaidan railway line. Okay. At present, evacuation from Chabad will be through road only. and we don't have any rail connectivity to Afghanistan as of present. A stretch of about 660 kilometers from Chabar, Iran Share to Zaidan, that needs to be completed. Japan did show some interest, but ultimately then they backed out. But they are helping Iran in buying some equipment, but in a very small way, X-ray machine at the custom gate, etc., in a very small way.
No, I asked this question largely because we see Japan as a strategic collaborator in the seas. We seem to be together against a kind of a, China countering Chinese maritime interests. And that's where a lot of articles get written that India, China are together, and that's where I thought either Japanese capital or Japanese technology or some other involvement is influencing the whole process.
Sir, I can't commit on I'm not a diplomat or anything, but what I've heard, what I've seen initially, JICA did show interest. They have a lot of funds. They wanted to fund it in yen. There the interest rates are now negative in Japan.
Yeah.
So they were very keen, but for some reason they have backed out, and they are investing in a small way for equipments, etc., and they are giving directly to the Iranians. So Indian collaboration with Japan on Chabar is at present not there.
So it is on the same line what we have relations with the Irano-Hind Shipping Company was there. So we have a long relations with Iran.
Absolutely, absolutely. Irano-Hind Shipping Company was formed in 1975. Unfortunately, because of sanctions, at present Irano-Hind Shipping Company is in problems. But as I said, the proximity, closeness, cultural relations, even Chabar has got a maritime academy where Indian faculty went in the beginning and taught there. I think Iranians are very thankful to Indians. Even Irisal, before it was Arya Shipping Line, there also technical people from Shipping Corporation of India used to go to Arya Shipping Company to help them, and now it's very nice to see that Iran's maritime industry has come very well. They are fully competent, good fleet, ports are doing very well, Bandar Abbas, Bandar Imam Khomeini, they are absolutely competing with world ports.
As a whole, if I can see the larger picture, internally, I think the Minister, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, is talking largely about the Sagarmala project, which is, I think, if I understand, Prime Minister's dream project in the maritime sector. Sagarmala, and then a lot of hinterland developments are happening, which will be connected to the ports of India. And then we have gone up to Chabahar. Do we propose to go to the neighborhood, maybe in Bangladesh, maybe in Eastern Africa, maybe in Myanmar, and then expand our maritime experiences?
Sagarmala is something internal to the country. It is for the ports in the country that they must have modern infrastructure, they must have hinterland connectivity, we must have smart cities, and efficiency should be there. That is the focus of Sagarmala. Now, after Mr. Nitin Gadkari took over, there were two very significant steps taken by him. First was formation of India Ports Global Limited, which is my company. And the mandate of my company is strategic investments in ports overseas. And second initiative taken by Ministry of Shipping was formation of India Port Rail Corporation. It is another body formed where in partnership with railways, where it will look into the last mile connectivity, port connectivity with the hinterland. Some railway stretch of 5 kilometers is missing or 60 kilometers is missing and the port is suffering. No one wants to take up that
critical linkage.
So that critical linkage IPRCL is going to do. And now,
has the work started anywhere?
Yes, they have got many projects in hand, and there is also in a very initial stage that IPRCL may come into Chabar Zaidan railway line also. Okay. Earlier, IRCON had signed that MOU. See, for Chabar port to be viable, we do need a railway line. Everything cannot be dependent on road. Though in Iran, the roads are very good compared to India. Even Bandar Abbas, Tehran, Astrakhan, roads are very good, but still railway is required. And if IRCON does not do, along with IRCON, IPRCL will do. So I think it was a very good initiative. Our dream is that IPGL, which is India Port Global Limited, has been born, and in years to come, I would dream this company to be something like PSA, Port of Singapore Authority, or DP World. We have to dream, and why not? A first step has been taken.
So, do we see Bangladesh as the next port of interest from the Indian side?
Bangladesh also, we have examined Paira Port. Bangladesh is highly dependent on Chittagong Port. Chittagong Port is handling 92% of the Bangladesh exim cargo, and it's very congested. Chittagong is on a river, drafts are limited. They are planning to have a port at Paira. Definitely, Indian government will do something, whether we construct not the full port. Again, the project is very big. Paira Port project is very big. We have shown our interest in multi-purpose berth as well as in the dry bulk berth. At present, India's relation with Bangladesh are on excellent terms. And I am very sure that India will contribute in some way towards Paira Port development also.
But matching to the Hambantota port that China got recently, we have expressed our interest in Sri Lanka. Then we are also looking at East Africa. Do we have any real-time planning to get into this maritime space and outside India and develop some of these?
India's ambition to go into ports overseas has been kindled only in 2015, and my company is in a very nascent stage. Yes, we are examining other projects also overseas. Hambantota is not in our canvas at present. Yes, we are aware that China has taken. Developing Hambantota will be like encouraging competition to Indian ports. See, we are going to bring Vizhinjam there. It will be it's already, Cochin port is not, DP World has got a terminal there. It is really not taking off because we have a lot of competition from Colombo. So, Kolachaldi we are planning. So many ports in close proximity
may not be beneficial.
So Indian government is really not interested to develop Hambantota. Yes, China has taken, they have a lot of money. Yeah. We are aware of it. East Africa also, on the Indian Ocean region, we did examine Nacala port.
Okay.
Mozambique is a country which is very rich in minerals, especially coal. There is a Tete province in Mozambique. And at present, all the exports are from Beira port. Again, Beira port is on a river, draft restrictions are there. SR has got some interest in Beira. We have been talking to SAIL also. If we get some interest from all these commercial entities, maybe we can do something at Nacala. Nacala has got a very deep draft of 18 meters. But there the problem is the rail connectivity. If only developing the port will not do. We have to develop the railway line also to the hinterland. So it is in a very premature stage. Our eyes and ears are open, and any opportunity.
Mr. Gupta, as a maritime scholar myself, and we have been writing also on many of these issues. 10 years down the line, if you look at it, we are trying to develop internally our ports. We are also externally trying to reach out to the neighboring countries' ports. Through that, we are trying to create goodwill also with many of these countries.
Absolutely.
10 years down the line, how do you see India and its maritime interests in a larger picture?
I see in coming 10 years, at least with the neighboring countries, we will have a lot of support given to them. We are already engaged with Myanmar. We are developing Sitwe port there in Myanmar, that is being developed. And with Bangladesh, we have made a lot of headway in the inland waterways.
Yes.
The recent treaty which has been signed, and we can avoid that chicken's neck and cargo is now straight going to Tripura. Ashuganj is a place from where Agartala is hardly any distance.
Okay.
Similarly, in Myanmar, cargo will go Sitwe. There's a river called Kaladan up north Kalewa,
Kaladan, yeah.
and then Manipur is there,
Okay.
Aizawl. So that is all connectivity. So I'm very sure India's policy of looking east and with the neighborhoods supporting them to develop, and as I said in the beginning, a win-win situation for all. We don't want that even only it should benefit me, it should benefit all our friends, neighbors and the entire mankind.
So we are looking forward towards India's maritime goodwill curve, a kind of a sphere where the neighborhood joins also with India, and there's a mutually beneficial and progressive development process that is in the offing.
If this momentum continues, I see India making lots of progress in their international projects in the maritime field.
With that good note, we thank Mr. Arun Gupta, who is currently holding the responsibility of developing Chabahar port in Iran, which is seen to be a major diplomatic victory for India and its leadership in the maritime sector. And Mr. Dilip Mehrotra, who is a maritime practitioner, myself as a professor of maritime issues, all of us, we join with this India's progressive orientation in the maritime sector and look forward to see India rising in the maritime sector in a much more progressive and effective manner. Thank you so much.